Unmute பண்ணணும் குமார், please.
Can you hear me? Good morning, everyone.
Just
Good
one
morning,
more.
Miatta. Good morning. Good morning.
Let
Greetings to
me know if my
everybody.
sound's okay. If not, I'll take my headphones off.
Just one moment. We will give an introduction. After that, you can start, please. Just one moment, please.
Okay.
Kumar Play Master, you can.
Greetings to everybody. I am really proud to say today the 1363th day of World Meditation for Peace. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to the exceptional speaker Miatta Momoh. She is an MBA graduate. It is really a true privilege and honor to introduce today's speaker. Her full name is Miatta Momoh. She is an MBA graduate. She is a co-founder and business development manager of Kent and Silk and Kamba Estate and co-founder of Women's in Media China. She has over 10 years of business experience in advertising, operation, client services, event management, publishing, print, and online marketing across the US, UK, Africa, and APAC. She has volunteered as the Beijing Ladies WH Tech Director and Beijing International China Fellowship Day. She is so passionate about people and building dynamic communities. She is interested in understanding what draws us together for the best positive, sustainable solution. Now I call upon her to deliver today's speech. The topic is identity. What is driving you? You can continue. That forum is yours.
Please unmute yourself. Miatta, please.
Hello, good morning. Thank you so much, sir, for that introduction.
Good morning. Good morning.
Much appreciated. How do I sound? Okay?
Okay.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So it's so lovely to be back here. I'm just going to share my screen and then we can...
You're covering your head, like this. Just let it be down,
You have to lower your position.
Lower your position. Check
Lower
your zoom.
my...
Yeah, check your zoom. Check your zoom photograph. Right. Very good. Little bit up, please.
Is that better?
No, up, please.
Up.
Right. Too much.
You're going above. Right.
Okay.
It's okay.
I can't see because I'm looking at my...
Okay. Now it's okay. Now it's fine. You can carry on.
That was
Thank
okay?
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. So let us begin. So again, just, identity, what's driving you? Big question, right? So as my dear friend said, he's already introduced me so well. And I just want to wish you all a very happy Chinese New Year. It's a pleasure to return and share on this pertinent topic that affects not just me, not just you, it affects everyone. It affects all of us. Identity. So this is just a bit more about what I do and what I'm about. So my name is Miatta Momoh. I have studied and lived in Beijing, worked in the UK and China, and served in churches in London and in Beijing. I've had the pleasure of building up businesses and building up people. That's really, my two passions. And, as much as I love these things, as an entrepreneur, you're always trying to solve problems. And as someone that is passionate about people, you're always trying to connect and engage people in different ways, and meeting them where they're at to understand, their worldview and what matters to them. And as much as I love to do all these things, this is not everything, and this is not part of my core identity. But before we go any further, let's try and understand, what do we mean by identity? So identity can mean different things to different people. So I think it's really important that we define it at the very beginning. So a good reference point would be the Oxford Dictionary. So what does that say about identity? So number one, identity is who or what somebody or something is. Number two, identity is about beliefs that make people different from others. So I want this to be quite interactive. Does anyone have any other comments about what identity means to them? Feel free to share on audio or share on the chat. If not, I'll continue.
Who am I?
Hi.
So that is the identity. Who am I?
Okay, so what do you say identity is? Faith. Okay, thank you.
Namaste.
Nathan. Yes. Okay, so we need to establish what we mean by identity, and like I said, it can mean different things. So I really appreciate that contribution.
Your purpose in life.
Purpose in life, fantastic.
That's your, I don't know, I feel that is my identity, my purpose in life.
Excellent. Yes, purpose in life. And that's why it's really understand, well, what drives, this sense of purpose, right? Oh, sorry. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
Yes.
You can see. I've lost my Okay. So here are some other ideas about so we understand what identity is. We've said it can be faith, it can be purpose, it can be who we are and what we believe. But what are the things that inspires that identity? What are the things that motivates that identity? What drives your identity today? So is it family? Is it your community? Is it to do with success and how you measure success? Again, success is something that can mean different things, but is your identity driven by your achievements, things that you achieve in life that can be success to you? Is it driven by your finances? Is it to do with, how much money you have, how many assets you earn or own? Is it based on your career? Many of us have gone through different education processes and establishments, and we've worked hard to get those qualifications, to get those certificates, to get those awards. So are these the things that drive our identity, our career, our qualifications? Is it more important that it's our wealth and or is it our health that's more important? There's a very famous saying that your health is your wealth. So is it how you're feeling, how you're keeping your exercise up, how you're eating well? Are these the things that really push your sense of identity, your sense of purpose, your sense of faith, and your sense of the things that really matter to you? I heard someone say something. Did someone have something to say?
It is the purpose in life that drives your identity.
Yes, exactly. Very good. Thank you for that contribution. So, how does your identity impact your sense of purpose? So we've all, does anyone want to share that, where this is your identity that that you really hold on to? So then how does that identity shape and inspire the way that you live, the way that you have direction in life?
It's the choices you make in life, isn't it? The choices you make in life.
Indeed, the choices, right? It helps with guidance, right? It navigates the types of decisions we would make and the choices. That's excellent. Thank you. Anyone else wants to share? Okay, so this is a really big question, how does your identity impact your sense of purpose and direction? So, our identity can be broken. My mother, loyal leader, fierce friend, and committed carer. More than a mother, a Christian sister too, who knew God is holy and loving, and that people are created in God's image to reflect his good, but recognizing that we aren't as good as we're supposed to be, and that actually, in essence, we are sinful. But there is, she also recognized the hope that we have in Jesus, where he died and rose again to pay for the things that we fall short on, those sins that we commit. And everyone needs to respond with repentance and faith. And this is good news, great news, and the hope that we can all have. So, my mother, incredible, inspirational, fantastic woman. And, people would often say, "You're just like your mother." And she really helped shape my identity because of that close relationship we had as friends, because of the faith that we shared, because of the love. And I'm sure you all have influential people in your life where if it wasn't for them, there's a big piece of you that would be missing. But so this is me and my mother in Beijing. This is Mother's Day. So in Beijing, in China, they celebrate Mother's Day on the same date as the Americans, which is in May, not like the UK. The UK celebrates it in March. So I was very fortunate when I lived abroad to celebrate Mother's Day, not once, but twice in a year. In Africa, they also celebrate Mother's Day in May. So yeah, like I said, she was very precious to me. And in February 2022, she was getting ready to go to church in Freetown, Sierra Leone, when she dropped and started to feel faint. Tomorrow, February 6th, will mark 3 years of her death anniversary. She died of a heart attack while I was in Beijing. And if anyone here has experienced the death of a parent or a loved one, we know that it's extremely painful. A sense of my identity had shattered into pieces, broken, injured, cracked, damaged, crushed. I felt broken. But my ultimate identity was still intact. So the Psalms are a collection of Hebrew poetry that can be found in the Bible. They are hymns and they are songs that talk about God and talk about life, many different things in life that people go through, the highs of life, the lows of life, and as we mentioned, the things that help us to understand our purpose and the hope that we can have as well. So this is one of my favorites, where it says, for you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. So this was written by Israel's great King David. This hymn, this poetry declares a true identity that impacts us all. We have been created with purpose. We're not here by mistake. It's not random. There is care, order, and such consideration in how we have been brought into this world. There is meaning to our lives that goes beyond what we do or how we feel. God created us to know Him and be grounded in His identity. What a relief, you know? So if I, have the best job in the world and I'm really successful in my career, if I lose that job, then that doesn't mean my purpose in life is completely diminished. And actually, that's the reason why I went to Beijing in the first place. When I was working here for over 10 years in media, in publishing, my job all of a sudden became redundant. And it was a shock. It was a massive shock. But it also made me reflect and understand, what really matters in life and how we can use all these different experiences that we go through, whether it's in work or whether it's in family or whether it's with our faith and our beliefs, how we can use these things, but we don't need to rely on just this alone, that there is a higher purpose that we are called to. So another question, how does being chosen by God impact your sense of purpose and direction? Does anyone have any comments or things to share regarding this? Okay, then what about this question? So fill in the blank. We talked about different things that shape our identity today. Our friend said, identity is about our purpose. It's about our faith. So I hope that you've had time to reflect, as I've shared, what really, if I was to ask you the question, what is your identity? How would you fill in this blank? And do you think that this identity can last forever? So will your career identity last forever? Will your family identity last forever? Will your health or financial identity last forever? Just want you to sit and reflect on that question for a couple of minutes. And if you have anything to share in response, Please do. I want this to be as engaging and interactive as possible.
Identity is impermanent.
Say that again, please.
Identity is impermanent.
Indeed, indeed. It doesn't last. And I'm sure that we can relate that as we've grown, you know, at one stage in life, something was more important, and then it's become less important as other things in our life have progressed. So you're right, it's not permanent.
Only your soul is the permanent.
Indeed, exactly. Our soul is, yeah. Okay, so thank you so much. I do really appreciate those contributions. And it's lovely for me to hear some of the views that are part of this community. We're here to share and learn together. So the job we retire from, the family loved one we lose, and the money that runs out, because money doesn't last forever either. You know, these do not fulfill our ultimate need and our deepest void. We know that is true. You know, we see people that are extremely successful and have, you know, you think they have everything, but yet we see they still can suffer with different things. They can still feel a sense of emptiness, and they are still not content. Even us, there are things that once we achieve that goal or get that qualification, we are always thinking, well, what's next? What else can I do? You know, once you've had that goal or that target where you think that's going to fulfill and satisfy you regarding your identity, there's still something more that we desire and yearn for. This is part of our humanity, really. So I want to encourage us all today that, you know, Jesus has revealed his identity. Jesus is eternal. Jesus is reliable, and Jesus is God. This is from one of my favorite New Testament books called Hebrews. And here it says that Jesus is the same yesterday and today and forever, meaning that in a world that changes, that's full of ups and downs, different presidents, different policies, you know, different career status, relationship statuses, you know, Jesus is constant and he never changes. So his character, which is reliable and faithful and good, that will always be the same, which is a joy, which is really, really refreshing, especially when, you know, in this new year, I don't know how your year has gone. I know some people have started the year not so well. Some people have started the year well. Some people have already broken their New Year's resolutions. But however your year has started and however your year will continue, you know, God will continue to be the same, and we can rely on him. So I love this. You know, I'm someone that I actually used to want to be a fine artist, but I was never good enough. But I love how art can, you know, illustrate our brokenness and illustrate our beauty at the same time. So we are all broken in one way or the other, just because of, like I mentioned at the beginning, you know, there has been a separation. There has been, you know, we all do things that are not of the, you know, in line with God's high standard. We're all broken, and this world is broken. You can just look at things like climate change and the way that we can be selfish and treat each other. You know, we can see that the world is broken, but there is still hope. There is still hope, and I want us to reflect and think about ways that we could get to know Jesus and have an identity that is positively and permanently driven, and that can fulfill us not just for a day, not just for a month, but forever. So I am so grateful for your time, and just want to encourage you all that you are, no matter what your identity is today, you all have been created with a purpose, that you are loved by God, that I love you all, and I'm so happy to engage with you all on this platform. And yeah, that there is meaning to life, that there is purpose, and we're all given different gifts and talents, but life is so much more than what we can gain or what we can give as part of it. So now I welcome you to have any questions, and we'll turn over back to our host.
Okay, before we move to the questions and the feedback, let us appreciate her brilliant brief speech by applauding her for 30 seconds. Okay, thank you. Now, in your brief, rather short speech, but really is inspirational. You have quoted Jesus Christ and all those things. And you have indicated, what really drives us is the purpose in our life that drives us. So another question you ask, who am I? So that question is the one we are always posing here. And other important things actually normally indicated that in life, all the acquisition of wealth, fame, or all those things are temporary. They don't drive us. So what really matters is we must be more religious. That's the important thing I think you're trying to say. Because according to you, according Jesus is always guiding us. And other important thing is how do we achieve our purpose in life? So sometimes, what is contentment is there. So because you buy something or buy a car or something like that, are you content with what you possess? Again, so you think of the next move, like that, keep on. So whatever you amass, all the achievement you do, they are all temporary and that's not going to drive you. So briefly, I touched on the purpose of life and what we should do and who we are. Now I open for discussion from the forum, and we invite Tama Masters to express your views, please.
Greetings to all masters. Very good talk on what is driving you, Miatta Master. Thank you very much. I would like to invite you to our youth program. Next program is on Saturday, February 22nd. I can give you a space to talk for 10 minutes. Is that okay?
Thank you so much for the invitation. Yeah, please, I'm happy to connect with you on WhatsApp, and on the 22nd during the day I'm free. So let's see what we can do together. So thank you so much for that invitation.
Brilliant. Happy Chinese New Year as well. Thank you so much.
Greetings to all. It's very good talk. I appreciated it. You reminds us what is the importance of the identity. Thank you very much. Come again.
Thank you so much. So, and I appreciate your contributions on belief and confidence. And one thing I recently, maybe last year, I realized that the word faith in Greek actually means the same as confidence. So a lot of people, when they talk about we have faith, it's not just about, what we feel. Faith is grounded on something that you're confident in and you've seen evidence to give you that confidence. So for example, if we say that we have faith in our parents, because that would be because we've seen how they treat us, how they care for us, how they sacrifice for us. So faith, sometimes in the world that we live in, is used as almost like just a feeling, but faith is actually more than that. Faith is something that should be driven by evidence. So when we say we have faith, what you put your faith in, do you have the evidence and the confidence to support that? So that's something I found very interesting.
Thank you. Now, Radha Master, you can ask your question or express your views.
Good morning. Good morning to all. Thank you very much for your excellent speech, Mita Master. I know that you have sort of spoken in a very personal level, but identity is quite changeable. We all know that. And also it depends on the choices we make. Our identity depends on the choices we make and who we are as an individual and who we are in a society, in a society base. Yeah. So as members of the society, it also depends how other people perceive you and label you. So that is also something we have to take into account. And the other thing is, as an individual, if you want to exercise your right and responsibilities, then the state should also have a role to play in it. And the fact that if you can't have access to proper education, healthcare, pension, and so on and so forth, then what are we supposed to do? And even when you go to get these things, they are asking for your identity. Now, for example, the refugee population in this country, or in most places, and the immigrant population, they are downtrodden because they don't have that identity to get even access to the state programs. So this is where, I mean, I am more concerned about this society the people like that, rather than my personal identity, because I can cope with my personal identity, but there is no how we can help those people. You see, I mean, it's all right saying everything is faith. Yeah, to a certain extent that applies. But what happens to others who don't have even the ability to have that faith? How are we going to help them? So that is what I often think about. Because that is very serious, because we can talk in terms of religion and all these things, but ultimately the people who are suffering, who don't have an identity, and even to get access to any of the state provisions, you need to have an identity, you see. So I am I'm quite concerned about that. Anyway, thank you very much for your speech, but these are my concerns that I have raised. Thank you.
That's excellent. Thank you so much. I'd like to respond to that because that's an excellent point. You know, how does the state's social and personal work together for the benefit of the community people? Like you said, even to get certain privileges or help, you know, your identity your identity is taken into account before you can even get some of those rights or the help or service that you need. The reason why I focus is on something that is stable, I would say. So like identity rooted in Jesus primarily, is because if you think about, okay, even charity organizations that help many people that need help in terms of social care and services, a lot of them are rooted in Christian values. If you think about our hospital systems, they were all built by Christians. If you think about our education system, they were also established by Christians. Even if you go back to say, so at one point, the state, okay, supported things like slavery, okay, and we know that slavery is still something that exists today. So it was actually people who had faith in Jesus, the abolitionists, I can never pronounce that, who, because they said, no, we're all created in the image of God, we all have integrity. You can't treat people like they're dirt or like they're second-class citizens because of how God sees them, because how we are created with purpose. And that was part of the systems that we use, or the identity or purpose that was used and drove people to actually stop things like slavery that was once actually supported by the state. So I understand what you're saying. You know, you're caring about sort of the institutions and how we can actually practically support people where their identities are being jeopardized or mistreated. But you know, if you think about the history of how even societies like the UK were built, it was through Christian values from the hospitals, from the education system, even the factories where they used to have child labor. So you think about child labor in the 19th century, it was Christians that protest against that, saying this is cruel. How can you have, you know, 7 to 16-year-olds in the factories working, you know, from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m.? This is cruel. So again, going back to an identity that's rooted in something that's above ourselves, where we're all told that we have purpose, we are all equal, no matter where we come from, no matter what we do, we have a purpose. So I think it's important to understand how, you know, that's why I said faith should be about confidence and evidence, not just about what we grew up in or what we've been told. We have to understand, well, how can that impact our lives and the lives of others in a way that's consistent? So yeah, I really appreciate that input, because it's important how societal identity is impacted and also oppressed. So, but I think, you know, people that have had good faith values have also helped stop a lot of the society ills when it comes to mistreating people based on, you know, identity or a lack of it in society.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, Andre Master, you can ask.
Yeah, greetings to all. Thank you very much, Miatta, to see you again here. And you have shared your mother's, death and how you were broken and crushed. Now, tomorrow you are celebrating her 3rd anniversary, I believe. Yeah, sorry to hear about all that. And you were talking about how what is driving you and what is identity, and you've given very good examples and everything. Thank you so much. Thank you. We'll see you again. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, Dr. Narasha.
Thanks a lot. Greetings to everyone. My apologies, I did missed out the beginning, but this is a complex subject, I thought, identity, because we can talk in many fronts. I think in this forum some time ago, we had a wonderful speech where the topic was, what do you mean by being, or being? In other words, something to be as, or something being referred to as, is sometimes called identity. You can call it features, isn't it? The thing is it a personal identity we are highlighting, or it's a social identity? Now, the personal identity will change, because as time goes, we are all going to get aged. So as a child, you have one identity, adult, and then as you grow older, social identities, I don't know, it's part and parcel of social structure. If there is no identity in social society, it'll be chaos, isn't it? Everybody can't be the boss. Everybody can't be the servant or master. So there is a need for hierarchy for social functioning. So we identify by the, we call it status or position. So as I said, it's a very complex subject. It wasn't very clear what we were going to take home message as. The other thing is, when you say person identity, one is your self-image. We build up our self-image. And then there is something called ego. We don't need to build up ego. Ego is automatic, built in. The problem with that is we need to counteract the ego or keep it under control. In psychology, they refer to something called superego, which is similar to a conscience. So if you have good conscience, then your ego will be kept under bay. Whereas self-image is something we all need to build up, because sometimes by nature or whatever, we're not born as confident, so we need to work on it. So that's something I think worth taking as a take-home message. So there we are. So in other words, it's all built on the features, how we are presenting to the outside world. As people will say, identify somebody as timid or brave or adventurous or accomplished, and others as nowadays is a fancy term called what do they call? You are a instead of saying you're a failure, there is another word of they're saying. So there you are. So society always want to identify everybody as successful. Otherwise, they don't want to know about it. I have experience in my own field as well. If you're not reached the top, people ignore you. So I don't get hurt by it, but we're accepted. So unfortunately, it's all to do with, materialism, whatever. So in order to, if you want to, as I say, be proud of yourself or keep a self-image, then we have to work towards it. You can't live for other people's opinion. In other words, if you love yourself, you're as good as anyone. That's all I can say. Anyway, it's a very inspiring and thought-provoking topic. I think our path in spiritual improvement and growth is to work towards this as well, in a way. I mean, we can take it that way. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Can I ask what, because you said in your profession that sometimes you're not appreciated. Can I ask what industry that is?
Well, whoever put it bluntly, I never became a consultant. So consultants sometimes ignore me. There you are. I accept it. I'm not disappointed, because even though when I grew up, I didn't have a ambition like I must become a doctor or consultant. I thought any job I'll do, I'll excel. So I'm quite happy with what I have achieved. So that's why I'm content. But when you go for social functions, you can see obviously. Some of my friends or acquaintances, they just don't take notice of you because you're not in par with them. I just accept it. I don't feel hurt, or that's it. So we can't change the world.
Right. I just want to commend you. That's a fantastic attitude. And I think what you said is very true. There is hierarchical structures in society where you do have, especially in a capitalist society like the UK, you do have, different classes. In many other societies, you have that as well, where automatically, if you're from a certain background or if you're from a certain position, you are given respect. Why again, I go back to why your core identity in something that is beyond yourself. So in this instance, your personal identity and foundation in Jesus is important, because the way that he has taught us to view people, again, the same thing that inspired the people to get rid of slavery. I know we still have slavery, and unfortunately, and different trafficking of people. But the world changed because of his teachings. He said, that we are all to be treated with value, and to be respected. Even in there's text that talks about the slave and master relationship. It talks about still having honor and respect between those dynamics, because of again, who your ultimate identity lies in. So if we just rely on ourselves, our achievements, and use that to drive how we navigate the world, we will stumble, because at some point it's one, either not going to be enough. Two, it can help us. You talked about ego. I would say ego is also, like you said, linked to our conscience, it's linked to our soul, it can also puff ourselves up to a point where we are mistreating people. So we have to be very sensitive to what really matters. And yeah, and the fact that we all have value, everyone has to be treated with respect. Doesn't mean we have to agree with everything that everyone says, but it means that we have to respect one another. So yeah, I think it's you've raised some really valid points, especially in terms of how the structures of society are impacted too. So I do really appreciate your contributions there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Sriskandaja Master.
Vanakkam, namaste, and greetings to all. We all enjoyed your very, very informative and enlightening speech, Miatta Momoh. Thank you very much for coming, and you are a very good speaker. And you let you join in at least every 2 months. You should join us, our forum, and speak about a lot of things. I know that you have been to China, and you spent some time in China. You studied there, so you can talk about your experience as well. Before talking about China, you talk about your own country, like Sierra Leone. So many things to say. We don't know much about Sierra Leone. We think it's it's a different country. I think it's a gold. It's a plenty there. Gold is available in Sierra Leone, or diamonds. So
Well, diamonds, gold, iron ore, yeah, many things.
yeah, we like to know more why people are coming here without spending their gold and diamonds over there. They're rich people, actually.
Yeah, Sierra Leone is, I mean, there's nothing that we don't have, to be honest. I would say it goes back to, again, like what our friend said, it's still, unfortunately, in terms of development, it's not as developed as it should be with all those resources, education, leadership, and the fact that we're part of the Commonwealth. It means that there are opportunities for people to come to the UK and other countries to access things that they might not be able to access in Sierra Leone. But I welcome you all to come and visit, because there's so much to see. We have beautiful beaches, we have incredible food, the agriculture is incredible there. But I would say, again, because of some of the structures of society, development, some mindset issues as well, that we're not as progressed. We haven't progressed as much as we should, but there is still so many opportunities there. I'm someone that's also interested in agricultural business, so it's definitely a market that's worth investing for that. And we have so many, like you said, diamonds, other resources, and yeah, I think Sierra Leone, especially when it comes to things like engineering and social tech innovation, it's an area that is growing there as well.
Very good, Miatta. You should come and speak about Sierra Leone. Maybe next time is better for you. There are a few.
I've done that before many times, especially in China. Always happy to share about Sierra Leone.
Please, yeah.
Can I just tell you what it means? So Sierra Leone is actually Portuguese, and it means Lion Mountain. So I love that it's got that great name, and it is a beautiful country.
Thank you. I have a few announcements regarding our upcoming program, upcoming events. That is at 11 o'clock UK time, 10 p.m. Sydney time. There is Sasikumara Kurukal is coming to speak about in Tamil. He's from Coventry Temple, Arada Inbam. So at 8 p.m., an English speaker is coming. Stephanie Mugo, our regular yoga teacher, is going to speak about the guru, the teacher phenomenon, the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's all the announcements about it. Now his time is up, for you to, Mr. Kumarasamy is waiting to summarize your speech in the Tamil. Tamil is the oldest language, I told you, more than 5,000 years language. He's going to speak in Tamil. If you can listen, what he's going to talk, please. Thank you very much, Mr. Kumarasamy Pillai Master. Thank you.
Actually, before that, I thank you for your presentation, participation, and contribution. Now I'll be summarizing your speech in Tamil for the benefit of others, right? After that, we'll start continuing our meditation. This is what we intend to do. So you wish you could stay. That is up to you. The option is yours. Right. இப்பொழுது நான் இன்றைய உரை தமிழ் தொகுப்பை உங்களுக்கு வழங்க இருக்கின்றேன். இன்றைய தலைப்பு அடையாளம். உங்களை இயக்குவது எது என்ற கேள்வியிலே ஒரு சிறிய உரை ஒன்று வழங்கினார். அடையாளம் என்றால் என்ன? அடையாளம் என்ற பொருள் பலருக்கு வெவ்வேறு மாதிரியான பொருள் கொள்ளப்படும். ஒவ்வொருத்தருக்கும் ஒவ்வொரு மாதிரியான கருத்து இருக்கும். அடுத்தது அடையாளம் என்று சொல்லுவது ரெண்டு இதை கவனிக்க வேண்டும். ஒன்று சுயநலம், தன்னை பற்றியது அல்லது நான் யார் என்ற பொருள். அடுத்தது எங்களுடைய நம்பிக்கைகள், மனப்பான்மை, இவையெல்லாம் தான் அடையாளமாக இருக்கின்றது. இப்போ உங்களை எது இயக்குவது, உங்கள் வாழ்க்கையிலே எது ஒரு உந்து சக்தியை கொடுக்கிறது என்று கேட்டால் அதுக்கு பல காரணங்கள் இருக்கு. ஆனால் அதுக்கு ஒரு காரணம் உங்களுடைய வாழ்க்கையை நீங்கள் எதை சாதிக்க போகின்றீர்கள் என்ற குறிக்கோள், எந்த திசையில நீங்கள் செல்ல போகின்றீர்கள் என்ற இதுகள் தான் உங்களுக்கு தான்றது. இந்த தருணத்தில் என்னுடைய வாழ்க்கையில் என்னுடைய தாயார் ஒரு உத்வேகமூட்டு ஒரு மீதாக இருந்தார். அவருடைய அன்பு என்னை ஓரளவுக்கு பாதித்தது. அவருடைய மரணம் என்னை மிகவும் பாதித்தது. நாங்கள் இந்த பூமியிலே தவறுதலாக பிறக்கவில்லை. நாங்கள் ஒவ்வொருவரும் இது ஒரு நோக்கத்திற்காகவே நாங்கள் இந்த மண்ணை பிறந்திருக்கின்றோம். இறைவன் எங்களை இங்கே படைத்தது ஏதோ ஒரு காரணத்தினால்தான் படைத்திருக்கின்றார். அதை நாங்கள் பார்க்க வேண்டும். அடுத்தது என்ன மாதிரி நாங்கள் என்றால் இந்த வாழ்க்கையில நான் எதை தேர்ந்தெடுக்கிறோமோ அது எங்களுக்கு விருப்ப தேர்வு இருக்குது. வாழ்க்கையில் எத்தனையோ இருக்கு. அவற்றை நாங்கள் எதை சாதிக்க வேண்டும், எதை பின்பற்ற வேண்டும் என்கிற தேர்வை பொறுத்து தான் அதிகமாக எங்களுடைய அடையாளம், அந்த அடையாளம் சார்ந்து இருக்கின்றது. மறுதி அடுத்த இன்னொரு கேள்வி உங்களோட வாழ்க்கையிலே நீங்கள் சாதிக்க விரும்புகிறீர்கள். எந்த சாதனை உங்களுக்கு மகிழ்ச்சியை கொடுக்கும், எந்த சாதனை நீண்ட நாளைக்கு நிற்கும் என்று கேட்டால், அந்த கேள்வி கேட்டால் பதில் கொடுப்பது கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டமாக இருக்கும். என்றால் இதில் என்ன என்றால் எந்த இதுக்கும் பொருள் என்றால் புகழ் என்றால் ஒன்றும் நிரந்தரமில்லை. நிரந்தரமில்லை என்பதுதான் அதன் நோக்கம். அடுத்தது வாழ்க்கையில என்ன செய்வீர்கள்? ஒரு பொருளை வேண்டுவீர்கள், வேண்டி போட்டு அப்புறம் அடுத்தது என்ன என்று கேள்வி கேட்டுக்கொண்டே மனதிலே ஒரு திருப்தி இல்லாமல், நிம்மதி இல்லாமல் வாழ்க்கையைத்தான் வாழ்ந்து கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள். இதனால் தான் நாங்கள் என்ன செய்கிறோம் என்றால், அவர் ஜேசுபிரான் இருக்கிறார் என்றால் அவர் நேற்று, இன்று, நாளை எப்பொழுது ஒரே மாதிரி இருப்பார். அவருடைய வழிகாட்டல் தான் ஒரு நிரந்தரமான மகிழ்ச்சியையும் பேராழ்ந்த தரும் என்று கூறி என்னுடைய சிற்றுரையை முடிக்கின்றேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம். Now, okay. Now I think I'll go to the meditation.
Thank you very much for your wonderful translation, Kumarasamy Pillai Master. We can clap around about 1 minute for your very good translation. Thank you. We'll go to the next session, please. Thank you.
Okay. Now I think I'll go to the meditation, and I'll do that in English for the benefit of the matter. You can also participate, but you are going to tell. On behalf of the World Peace and Unity Group and PSSM Tamil Europe, we would wish to express our sincere gratitude to all those who are participating in this powerful collective meditation that promotes world peace, unity, and health. Today is Wednesday, 5th of February. Every day, the World Peace and Unity Group engages in 3 sessions of meditation. Now, let us all engage in the peaceful meditation therapy. Always drink moderate warm water before and after the peace therapy. During drinking warm water, ensure that your throat is not dry. If you are wearing spectacles, please remove them. While engaging in this therapy, we should sit comfortably, ensuring that our spinal cord is straight and our shoulders, neck, face, and muscles are fully relaxed. Please interlock your fingers and place your hands on your laps. Cross your feet. Gently close your eyes. Do not open your eyes until an announcement is made. We will practice meditation for about 45 minutes. 45 minutes. Thank you. Now, music will be provided and we will observe for up to 40 minutes.
You have to enable the speaker sound.
It's not coming. Can you share that?